Welcome to another episode of the Bombcast. I am joined today by Alan Christian of the Alan Christian Mortgage Banking Team. Is that correct?
That's correct. Alan Christian Mortgage Team.
Awesome. And you are in Georgia. So welcome so much. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Bombcast.
So glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So why don't you just kind of start us off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in mortgage, what you love about the mortgage business.
I've been in the industry about 18 years now. I've been a mortgage broker owner for the last 18, and I've got a team that supports me. And here's what I love about the business. It's any business, but I love people. I truly enjoy encouraging, building up, making people feel good. So it doesn't really matter what the business is. It just happens to be I'm in the mortgage side. So I love the connection with the people. The paperwork, the details, not so good at, but the people side, I love. So this was a perfect transgression from where I was to what I was looking to accomplish. So very excited about this.
Awesome. Well, let's just kind of jump right in there because you hinted at it. So let's talk about video. Now, were you doing video in your business yet before you came across BombBomb, or was BombBomb your first intro to video for your mortgage business?
I have been using Mortgage Coach for a number of years now and absolutely love it. And the video aspect of it is the thing that kicked it off for me. I found out that for the folks that I couldn't see face to face, right up front, when they got a video and they saw me and they saw the personal side, I realized that was the connection. So that was the initial doorway. And before I found out about BombBomb, and I've only really, I think I signed up maybe a year ago, but I didn't really start doing anything until last spring when I came to Rehumanize. But I was playing with YouTube. I signed up for Vimeo. I'm like, how do I do? I didn't know what I was doing. I was wasting so much time. And then I heard the name BombBomb. I'm like, what is it? And when I pulled it up and I saw it, I'm like, this is everything I've been wasting literally months. It's ready. Let's go. So I had been doing it through Mortgage Coach, but beyond that, not touched it, but I knew I needed to.
So tell us, what kind of video were you doing with Mortgage Coach that kind of made you realize that there was going to be a place for video in your business?
When I put together Mortgage Coach, being as the trusted advisor, guider through the process, Mortgage Coach would allow me to explain some loan programs for them. But main thing was, it was really just the connection. So it put together some numbers, which was wonderful. But the thing that was the selling point is when I started getting all these emails back about, hey, what an awesome tool, love the video. But bigger than that, it was people saying, we've already talked to 2 or 3 other lenders. We went online, the e-space, the fintech space. But when they saw me, that was the connector. And I've always felt like if I can get face-to-face with somebody, I can typically solidify a relationship. I'm a normal guy, trusted. So that's what opened the door for Mortgage Coach. But how do I put that in the rest of my business? Because Mortgage Coach was multiple steps down the process. I needed to get it way up front, but I didn't know how to do it. Yeah,
I love it. It always comes back to the relationship piece in sales. Well, really any business. I ask people at the beginning of sessions and webinars all the time, if you could get face-to-face with more people more often, would it help your business grow? And of course, the answer is yes. Ethan Butte, our VP of Marketing, he does a podcast called The Customer Experience. Really, really great. I highly recommend checking it out to everyone. Yep. But he was talking to Darren Dawson, our president, and they were just talking a little bit about the roots of BombBomb. And what Darren said, it was so great. I wrote it down and I use it in my presentations now. But he said, as a sales guy, right? Because sales guy, he said, as a sales guy, I knew that if they were sitting across the table from me, they were buying every single time. So the question was, how do I scale that?
That is me exactly. I say this extremely confidently, but also very humbly, that if I could sit down with somebody for 15 minutes, 9 out of 10 times, I've got the relationship, which means I've got the business. but how do I scale that? How do I do that where I can't get in the car, get on a plane? And this was the perfect tool for it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you come across BombBomb. Do you remember when the first time you heard BombBomb was, or how you came across it?
I saw some things on the internet, and I'm part of a coaching group, Next Level Loan Officers, and we had an event last November in Las Vegas. And there was one class on social media, and on that class, they really talked about BombBomb, BombBomb, BombBomb. And I'd heard a little bit about it, but that's the one that pushed it for me to say, okay, I've been hearing about this. I know I need to do it. I need to strategically do it, but I was nervous beyond belief. And that was the event that said, I've got to embrace this. And for 2019, what have I done? What's the one thing? I have embraced BombBomb, and it's completely changed what I do.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I did go and look at your account and I wanted to see how many videos you had in there. And you have been a customer for just about a year. I didn't look at the exact sign up date. It just said, approximately a year. And you have, as of this morning when I checked, 1,682 videos. So 1,682 videos in 1 year's time. I would say that there's probably not very many people that have racked up that many videos in a year's time, other than employees here. So great job on the video count, Alan.
Thank you.
So what are you using the video primarily for in your mortgage business? What would be like the top 3 videos that you are using that you think other lenders should be doing video for?
One of the first ones, I've set up a template in BombBomb when somebody wants to introduce me, be it a realtor or past client, and I have an email template set up, and I have a video, and it's me. It's for example, a realtor says, "Hey, I want to introduce you to this guy named Alan. I'm going to shoot you over an email." So I built out a template for that, and it's me specifically saying, "Hey, it's Alan. I'm so glad that Matt sent over this video introduction to give me a chance to say hello. Looking forward to connecting." It's about 2 minutes long, and it's kind of me explaining the process, what we're going to do. I have links below to my personal Facebook page, Zillow, Google, all my reviews, everything. And I tell them, you probably are like me. You want to who am I going to be calling? So that initial introduction, because my goal in my thought process is they've probably already talked to 1 or 2 other people already or sent a phone call or email, but I want to embarrass that other person because of what they're not going to do. But more importantly, I want them to realize I'm a real human being. I'm just like them. I'm their neighbor, their community, normal guy, and I happen to be in the mortgage industry. But when they look at that and say, okay, that was the connector, that's what I was trying to do on the front end. So that's one of the big parts of it. I also reach out before an offer is made on a contract. So I've seen some other people make phone calls, but I actually have 2 different ways. I have a custom video I have a generic video set up that can be automatically sent out, but I typically like to call a listing agent before an offer is ever made to say, hey, you're probably going to be getting an offer in the next day or 2 from my realtor, Susan, so whoever, and the loan's 100% approved. It's like a cash deal. Most pre-quals are not worth the paper they're written on. This, as long as we get title and appraisal, we'll get through the inspection, this is a done deal. And I tell them, I typically have, agents call back and say they had 3 to 4 other offers, all higher than mine, but we took yours because we're that confident. So anyway, I'm doing a personal, I have the links to all my reviews, and I have agents literally call me back and say, we took the offer because of your video. And it's a game changer. So that is the first one. When we go under contract, I have videos built out throughout my loan process. So from lead to contract, I have them built out. Then from contract to close, there's about 11 emails with videos built out. Because my thought is, anytime I have the same question by 2 different clients, I need to change my process, my templates, my videos. So I built all that out. So now when we order an appraisal, I explain the entire process. So what happened is my phone stopped ringing because I track it obviously, When we first get a client under process, I have them getting started with the Allen Christian team. And I have a video built into that for a client, and then separate videos built out for the listing agent, selling agent, and the seller.
Nice.
And I explain my team, everything that we do. And I just had a closing last week and I normally talk to my clients before, but this was the beauty and the power of the video. I went to the closing last week. I have not talked to this couple before ever. And when I got to closing, the wife and the kids got up off the couch and came to the door and hugged me like I was their family. And I'm thinking, and they literally said, we have been wanting to teach our kids about the home buying process. So they've been watching all of your videos.
Oh, I love that.
So it was like, okay, this is what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it a huge separator because of where our industries go. And I'm trying to make it a huge separator for the personal side.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, I love it. It's such a huge differentiation is what it really comes down to. Especially, even it's a differentiator from any professional that they've probably ever dealt with, other than maybe if their real estate agent is using BombBomb, because we have a lot of real estate agents. But to have a professional send you a videos explaining step by step what to expect, it's such an incredible service that you're providing. I wish that more lenders would believe me and believe you when we talk about, doing a little bit ahead of time, right? Think about those frequently asked questions.
Right.
Think about those things that you have to explain every single time. And if you do the videos ahead of time, it is going to save you so much time down the road through the transactions.
Right.
But you're not cutting corners. You are providing a really high level of service and really clear communication, and you've already done the work.
Right. Right. And one of the great things is, and I use it, for example, Mortgage Coach, because there are some numbers there. I just had a closing recently. I looked at the client watched that video 37 times, which I tell the realtors, you know what that means? That means they didn't call you 37 times or me. Wow. There were no questions because I answered it in detail one time and then went back and watched it. So it's been great.
I love it. Okay. So you do the first touch, you do the pre-offer, the more, generic, as well as a custom.
Right.
Hey, this loan is going to be accepted, which I love.
Yep. And
you're doing lots of education. Anything else that you feel like you're doing with BombBomb that other loan officers should really be looking at?
I also reach out to financial planners. So when I'm working with somebody, I ask them, do you have a financial planner you're working with? Do you have a CPA you're working with? I try to pull all of that in, and I'm reaching out, and I had this happen recently. I reached out to the financial planner and sent him a video, and he was blown away. And some of my best business comes from financial planners, but he's like, I've never received that. And then of course, his next question is, how did you do that? So pretty much anybody involved in the transaction, I'm reaching out to. And then another thing that I've started doing recently, I'm all about encouraging and gratitude and promoting and building up other people. So I've gone out to some of the realtors, personal page and done a review for them, and the closing attorney, and shot a video and said, hey, I just wanted to say, I know you probably won't do this because you're so humble, but I'm going to say this as a professional in your industry. Your team were wonderful. My team loved working with you, and I'm promoting them. And I'm sending that out to them. Nobody else does that.
No, of course not.
Nobody does it. So I'm just trying to touch as many people as I can. So I've done things on a larger scale for my database, but right now the thing I'm probably the best at is the one-on-one connection. Who can I reach out to, and touch. So that's the main thing that I'm doing right now.
I love it. BombBomb is, we're a full email marketing platform. You can send out your mass messages. You can set up automations and all of that, which are great tools to have at your disposal. But over and over and over again, Every single person that I talk to that is wildly successful with video in their business tells me the same thing. It's the personal touches. It's the one-to-one. These are the things that actually make a business impact.
Completely. I will say one of the things related to realtors and loan officers, one of the phenomenal things is y'all's tracking, and people miss that. So if I send out a bulk email, let's just say to 500 people, and 150 of those click on the email, and 47 of those actually open the email, and you've got your list of people you think you're working with, did they look at it? Did they not? And sometimes I will call or shoot a text, say, hey, what'd you think about the video I sent you yesterday? Give me your feedback. Knowing they didn't look at it. Now they actually go back and look at it. And some of them, if they're not looking at it, it makes me realize I probably need to get on the phone and share a little love with them, because maybe the relationship's not there the way I thought it was. So the tracking portion of it is a tool that most people don't even think about, and it's underutilized. And that is it's a wonderful way to gauge your relationships of who you need to focus on or maybe not focus on. So it's been great.
Alan, you are a rock star. I love it. It's so great when I hear you talking about things that I teach other loan officers on. So yeah, one of the things that I always want to encourage people with tracking is the point of the tracking is to give you more intel about who you should be talking to, whether this person is unengaged and I should follow up with them, or, when you're talking about building those referral relationships, if you're sending out to a list of real estate agents on a regular basis, providing rate information or providing, a quick Monday morning motivational tip or something like that, and you're sending to 300 people and only 55 are opening your email and only 15 people watched your entire video.
Right.
Freak out about the people that didn't watch your video, because you don't have time to talk to 300 people anyway. But those 15 people that watched your entire video are probably going to be willing to have a conversation with you because they just received value.
That strategy is exactly the mental shift for me, because I got hung up thinking they're not watching my video. They don't like me. Something's wrong. What's happening? But then the complete shift was, and this came from Rehumanize and from the book, you don't need to focus on the ones that don't. Focus on the ones that do. Yep. And when I've got people on that list that maybe I pulled the list and maybe I talked to them one time and they're on my email, maybe I don't have a relationship. But if I can look back and say, you know what, they've watched my video the last 4 weeks in a row. And then when they open it and I call them 1 minute later and say, hey, what'd you think? They're like, oh my gosh, how did you know I watched it? And sometimes they laugh about it, but you know what? You were just sitting in their office. You were just face to face with them, and they love it. And it's, I just can't tell you how great it's just changed everything about what I do.
It makes me so happy to hear that. People ask with the tracking piece, people will ask me, is that weird to call someone and say, what'd you think of the video? Or I saw you just open my email. And I'm like, not really. It's 2019. We know that if I say something right now on just while my phone is in range, when I go on Facebook, that it's going to be advertised to me. So email tracking is not really all that creepy. But you can also frame that however you want. Obviously, I'm selling BombBomb. So when I was on the sales side, if I would, call someone who just watched my video, who maybe I was chasing to sign a contract, and be like, I know you just watched my video. They'd be like, you got me.
That's right. Let me tell you what's fun about that. When I initially send out a video like to a new realtor on like maybe it's a listing agent on a contract, this is my typical protocol. I'll email them BombBomb. I text them BombBomb. Then I go to Facebook Instant Messenger and send them the exact same message, same video. Yeah. And then when I call them and they've opened it, they're like, oh my gosh, you hit me 3 different areas. I'm like, you're exactly right. And that's what I'm going to do for your clients, to take care of them. And they're like, they laugh. They're like, I get it, because I should be doing what you're doing. So I thought that too. I thought, is this overkill? No, they love that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about an aha moment if you had one? Because this is one of my favorite questions. Because a lot of times, you know in theory that this video thing is going to work, and it's not until you got that one response that really it was like, oh, now I'm all in. So did you have an aha moment?
I've had several. I was so nervous about doing this. I literally for like 5 days, I'd never hit the send button, and I was scared to do it. And I got started, and I just stopped. I didn't want to look at anything. And this is, I'm an extroverted introvert. And I found that I can hide behind video, which is kind of strange. The most people that post on social media normally are the ones that never talk to anybody in school. They post it. Well, I'm comfortable in video. I went to an event at my church, and there were 100-something people. And I go to a pretty big church, and somebody came up to me and turned around and said, "Oh my gosh, you're Alan Christian." And I didn't know him. And he said, "I've been following you for like 3 months on social media, and I love it." That was the first one. And then all of a sudden it just started hitting left and right until I started having, some realtors call me saying, "Alan, we don't know each other, but I have been following you. I've been getting your videos. I've been getting this. I don't really know you personally, but I know enough about you from your videos. Will you come to my office and meet my agents?"
Yep.
And it took, they told me 6 to 9 months before it hits. And it was about that. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm accomplishing what I'm after.
Yeah.
Of sharing who I am. The mortgage business is a byproduct. I'm sharing myself. So that's what accomplished what I was after. So that all of a sudden it just started pop, 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 pop. But it took a little time.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
I love that. That is a mic drop moment right there. I hear so many of those, you don't know me, but I know you because I watch your video stories.
Right.
It's the same reason why real estate agents were putting their faces on bus benches for so many years. And some of them still do, but that's exactly what you want as a business professional.
Right.
You want people to see your face and be like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. That's the mortgage video guy," right? Yeah, I love that. So that is a pretty great aha moment. Any others? Any other aha moments? Any killer replies?
No
pressure.
When I have realtors call, and this is the big one, realtors call, financial planners call, and it's truly a heartfelt. I accepted your offer because of your video. And I had this happen recently. Somebody was referred to me. They had already talked to 3 other people. And they said, by the time I got your they said, get a video, number one, it's kind of like amazing. But it was a personal video. And I went and stalked them. And I found out some things about them, and I found some connections, and I mentioned 2 or 3 things. And they were like, "Oh my gosh." It was just the personal side and getting the feedback from people saying what you're doing was the difference. It made me feel comfortable when I was scared to start the process, but everything you did from start to finish, and it was because of the videos and my message that made them relaxed. It was like, that's game changer.
Yeah,
that's a changer. Yeah,
it really is. You touched on earlier about being afraid and staring at your screen and not wanting to get over it. This is a topic that is very, very near and dear to my heart.
Oh gosh.
I spend so much time talking about working through the fear of being on camera. Everywhere I go, all over the US and Canada, the number one thing that people will tell me that's keeping them from doing video is that fear piece. And I know it's not just about video, which is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it, because, when we talk about these things and someone, works through that and they start doing video, it changes not just their business, but it changes something inside of them to work here. But I would love to hear from you. What was the 1 or 2 things that helped you just kind of get over that or move through that fear and do it anyway?
I knew I needed to do it. And I don't know if it was before or after you rehumanize, but I spent literally, I probably spent a couple of months studying cameras and microphones and lights and editing and all this crap. And then I started watching some other influencers on BombBomb saying, you know what, my phone is the only thing you need. And I would think my backdrop's not right. I'm supposed to wear a suit. My hair's not right. And then somebody said, you know what, I've hired professional companies. But then when I'm walking through, holding my phone, walking through a park or through my car, that's what people watch. And then I realized, and I accepted the fact that I need to be real, authentic, and raw, which means it's not supposed to be perfect. So I don't need to go back and redo it if I stumbled or I said, oh, because I wouldn't do that if they were sitting in front of me. So I just said I'm going forward, and I stopped going back in and reshooting. It's a one-time click, record, send, gone. And I don't go watch them again. It is what it is, because that's how I would talk to you conversationally. And I stopped looking. I hid behind video and just sent it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it.
Really, that is exactly what you should do. On my slides, in my PowerPoint, when I'm talking about working through the fear of being on video, the last bullet point says, don't watch your videos back. And then I had to put
right
with an exclamation point, because I'm telling you, every single time I stand in a room of people and I say, don't watch your videos back, people laugh. And I'm like, no. This really is, if you want to be successful with video, one of the key things that you need to do is to stop watching your videos back. You just have to record it. Yeah. I love what you said about how you spent all this time researching, because this is
oh my gosh,
all creating barriers.
Yep.
And this just happened at an event really recently. They were sitting in my breakout session. One of our other sales guys was standing there, and she came up and she started asking about editing tools. And he started to answer, and I stopped. I was like, hold on. I was like, have you ever recorded one video yet? She was like, no. And I said, you are already creating barriers to doing video before you've even created one.
Right.
You have never recorded a video and you're researching cameras or editing softwares or what microphone you should do, then you are creating barriers to do it. You really have to do what you did.
Right.
Press the record button. Just put it out there.
Yep. I've helped people get set up with BombBomb, went to their office. 4 months later, I asked them, no, I hadn't done a video yet. Or for whatever reason, I don't have, somebody just recently, I don't have time to do a video. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, you have time to breathe. I don't have time to do an email. And I love it because I said, you have it on your computer, open it up, and it's already there, or they're in my office. Click record. They stick your head in here and like, well, and we wave, click, send, done. It's so crazy simple. It's doing the first one. And I always challenge people, and I love it when I get people to get started on it. So just let's do one together right now. Let's do another. And just shoot me 10 in a row, bam, 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 and you're done. Yeah. If you'll do that, you're finished. You're going.
It's true. I love it. So now I do see that you have a pretty good external mic there. Yes. Now you're 1,682 videos in, which is really why it's so remarkable for what you just said. We do this all the time. Someone will buy an account and 6 months later, they haven't sent one video yet. So,
oh gosh, yeah.
So obviously, as you've moved through your video journey, you've picked up some gear or tools. Our customers love hearing about gear, not just the ones that are creating barriers, but the ones that are actually doing video. So what kind of gear are you using?
Here's what I've done, and I'll show you. Y'all can see this. I have a lamp, nothing fancy. I have a lamp there. I have another cheap little lamp on my desk. So my team walks in going, you have like a studio in your office? I have 2 lamps, $30, $20. I have a Yeti mic, and I have a little webcam. Yep. And that's it. That's all I got. Now, when I leave the house, what's my EDC, my everyday carry? I do have a little Rode mic that I use on my phone. I did wind up getting a little Bluetooth for my video. Don't use this that often. And I did get a little Gorilla tripod, little 12-inch thing. And those literally go with me everywhere I go. But I will tell you, this mic y'all's mic on the phone app, you can tell a little bit. This is like $30. You can tell a little bit of a difference, but not enough to even warrant. You don't need any of this stuff. Now, if you're in your office, and I shoot most of mine in the office, it is really nice to have this stuff, because if I have these things turned off, it gets dark.
Lighting. Yep.
So it's nice to have it. So I tell everybody, you know what, for probably, and I do have a little arm that I got, you don't have to have it. For under probably $150 maybe.
Oh yeah.
Set, and I wish somebody had said, these are the three things. And I've had some friends that I've told it, and in my office, they ordered all three right then on Amazon. The next 3 days they had it set up, and they were rolling. And that's all. I mean, boom, boom, boom. And that's it. You don't have to have these, but I would say part of it is invest in these things, and it'll maybe force you to get started because you got some skin in the game. You don't have to have, but the phone app, you don't need anything. Nothing but your phone is all you really need.
Yeah, you're right. And I would really encourage people, if you feel like you need one of these things, start with lighting. Lighting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, by far.
A huge difference. The audio is important, but if you are in an office with not a lot of noise, then you're not going to have audio problems.
Right.
Start with a light because you'll feel better about it.
Right.
But you are absolutely right. You don't need a lot of things. All right. So last question, and then I'll let you get back to your day.
Sure.
What is the one thing that you wish you knew earlier with BombBomb, whether it's a feature, whether it's a way that it's saving you time? What's the one thing that you wish you had known earlier?
I wish I had known about being real, authentic, and raw. I cannot stress that enough. I thought I had to do a production, hire a videographer. I really thought that. And the videos that get the biggest traction and the biggest views are when my kids are in the background. I'm walking around in my backyard. And I really don't like doing stuff in my office that much. I walk outside in the grass and the trees and shoot a video. Those things get watched more than these because sometimes these are too professional. But if there's anything if I had really embraced the concept behind when I was starting this journey, was people want you to be real. And if you're not who you are and you're fake and creating something that you're not, you'll be uncomfortable with it. That's not what's going to get people to watch it. And when I really embraced that, that's when I stopped watching my videos. I stopped worrying about it because I am who I am. Share who you are because that's what people are going to like. And if they don't, that's okay, but be who you are. That is the number one thing. If I had learned from day one, I'd have gotten started even faster.
I love it. I don't think there's anything else for me to add there, Alan. You just wrapped it up in a beautiful, nice little package. It's all about the relationship. This whole rehumanizing our communication and simple video for our businesses. It's not about being a video rock star. It's not about having a video go viral. It's just about human being and connecting with more people.
That's it. That's it. End of the day, that's all it is.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. It really is an honor to get to talk to a 1-year user with like 1,600 videos because
thank you.
You are an example to us all. Thank you so much for your time. Keep up the good work. And
got it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time. It's an honor, truly.
Thanks for tuning into the BombCast today. Head to bombbomb.com/bombcast to access past episodes, get info on future episodes, and subscribe to our BombCast newsletter.